Today on Wolves Talk, we'll be joined by Montreal Canadiens prospect Michael Pizzetta and Wolves captain. Typical day in the life of Michael Pezzetta. You're an athlete, you're an up-and-comer, you've been drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. I would guess that it's not a typical day like I or somebody else would have, like a 9 to 5 going to work or whatever. So describe what a typical day in your life would be.
I mean, a typical day up here in Sudbury, I'll probably get up around 8 o'clock, have breakfast, and then either head to the rink or head to the gym. We'll have a team practice with the guys, and then followed by a workout. So that's usually how the morning starts. And then we'll have a little bit of time to ourselves to kind of grab lunch or spend a little time with the guys, and then back at the rink for around 2 o'clock for a full team practice. And then after practice, kind of spend some time with the guys, enjoy your night. Or I go to Laurentian. I'm in the SPAD program. I go part-time there. So finish some homework. I'm taking 2 classes right now. So finish up some homework and kind of stay on track.
So you're also in school, doing it at the same time. Do you find it difficult to juggle the two?
Yeah, every so often it's hard, like coming home from the rink at 5, 6 o'clock every day, and then just having to kind of study for the rest of the night when you're already exhausted and kind of just want to relax and get ready for the next day. But it's important to always stay focused on your education too, because you never know what's going to happen.
No, you're right. Education is definitely important. And like we said earlier, you were named the 45th captain of the Wolves, alongside Reagan O'Grady and Kyle Rhodes, are your alternate captains. To you, what does it mean to wear the C? What does it mean to be captain?
It's a huge honor to be named captain, to be able to give them the responsibility to lead on the ice and in the community. I've been here for 4 years now, and I've seen a lot of change in the organization and in the team. And for me, it's just something I want to take on my shoulders, to be able to go out there every night and really lead by example and help out these young guys really transition into the league. So to have the respect of my coaches and teammates is huge for me.
And I've gotten that sense too. I've done a little bit of research. I've looked at some past interviews that you've done and things, and it seems like you really embrace the leadership role. Like you really take it on yourself as a learning experience, and it's something that you're not shunning away from, that you're actually just embracing that.
Yeah, I think that's something that my parents have always instilled in me, is to try to lead whenever you can. And I think it's just, I go out there every night and just play as hard as I can, and I think it's easy for guys to follow that work ethic, and it's something that I definitely embrace and I want to lead. So
yeah, right on. And I get that same sense. So how much of being a captain takes place on the ice? Because that's what all the fans see. They come out and see you working hard, like you just said, on the ice. How much of it takes place off the ice?
Yeah, obviously on the ice is a huge part of everything. I mean, we're playing hockey here, so I think on the ice it's just going out there every night and leading by example. So that's playing hard every single shift and just doing the little things right, so that when guys are sitting on the bench, they can look and say, hey, like Pez is working hard, Pez is doing this, like I gotta follow that. But I mean, off the ice is huge too, because there's lots of times where we're working out or we're doing things where it'd be easy to kind of just take the day off, but if they see someone's in the dressing room, in the weight room, like always working hard or staying focused, it's something that they can always follow.
So that's what goes on in the back of your mind, right? You got that little angel popping up and a little devil, and you're like, I could just do this right now, but you're like, wait a minute. There's some people that I'm an example, and they're going to see me doing something, so I owe it, as part of being the captain, to my teammates to...
Yeah, it's definitely something that you always think about. Like it's there's some hard days, and it'd be really nice to just kind of take it easy for a day. But I think just me as a person, I never like taking days off, and that's just kind of my mentality. And then as a leader, it's kind of the same thing. You want to always be there to show that this is the hard work that you need to get to the next level, and try to set that example for the younger guys.
And that really does come through in the brief time that I've just met you and been doing some research on you. That shines through a lot, that you have a very strong work ethic and a heart, and you really embrace that. And you've really been able to step up your game. So that bit of a question here is, being that example, being, helping out the team in any way that you can by just your example in what you do, how does that affect the team overall, like the team gelling? How important is that to a successful team? Like everybody kind of knowing what they're all about, getting on the same page, kind of buying into the whole team philosophy as you are a part of as the captain. How important is that to a team's success?
I think that's huge for team success. I mean, if a team gels and really gets together as a group, that can make a average team great, and if a team doesn't gel, that can make a great team pretty average. So I think as a group, the faster you can gel and the faster you can get along with each other is really big in terms of team success. So I think for us, we're a pretty close group, and I mean, this is one of the best groups that I've played with where guys are just stick together, and I mean, we don't have like subgroups. We're kind of just everyone hangs out with each other. Like rookies are getting involved in hanging out with older guys and stuff, which when I was a rookie, stuff like that didn't happen. So I think we got a pretty good group of guys that are going to start to gel pretty good soon.
I found too, there's two ways of learning. You can always learn from things that aren't done right just as much as you can learn from things that are done right, correct? Like you just said, you notice certain things maybe weren't there that now you get a chance to actually put in place and turn maybe something that's negative into a positive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been here for 4 years and I've seen a lot of change, whether that be coaches, management, different players. So I think even though I've only been in Sudbury and on one team, I think I've seen a lot of change, and that's helped me as a leader because I know kind of what's going on and how different things work and what works and what doesn't work. So to try to help like make transitions easier, it's definitely helped having all that knowledge. And
how has that really affected the team on the ice? Because we've talked a lot about the new ownership, the new management, the new coaching, the new arena coming. How much does that trickle down to the players like yourself, and how has that affected you guys as of recent?
I mean, whenever you get a new coach or anything like that, I think it's a fresh start for everyone. So if anyone wasn't happy with where they were being placed in the lineup or things like that, it's a fresh start for them to kind of say, hey, like this is a new coach. He has no previous like expectations of me. It's kind of a fresh start, so I can go out there and kind of bring the game that I think that I am, and hopefully that's what's going to take off for you. So I think for that, it's just a fresh start, and it kind of gets guys' minds going again, where maybe they were kind of caught in a trap that they couldn't get out of. So I think that's it's always nice to get a fresh start.
Yeah, I've seen that with certain players over the time, even in professional. There's a relationship between the coach and the player, and for some reason they're just not able to on either side get over that. But then a new coach or whatever, they're able to, or a new team even, they're able to shine where they weren't able to before. You're having a really successful season this season. You're doing very well. What would you attribute that to? Is it all just experience, the fact that you've just been doing it for so long, or what are some of the components that are helping you to have such a great season this year?
I've always worked incredibly hard in the off season to get ready for upcoming seasons, and especially this summer, I put in a shooting pad in my backyard, and something that I could go out there every day on top of workouts and going on the ice to stick handle and shoot pucks, and I think that's definitely helped a lot this year. But for me, it's just I'm playing in a little bit of a different role. I mean, in the past, it's always been just kind of shut down, run around and hit guys, and I think this year I've had the opportunity to continue to do that, but kind of chip into the offensive talents that I had. I think they've always been there, but I think now they're starting to shine.
Yeah, you really do see that on the ice. You see the work that you're putting in, and that little bit of a tweaking of your game is definitely paying off in the numbers that you're putting up. So you've been in Sudbury some time now. It's going 4 years, right? It's going on 4 years.
This is my fourth year.
Fourth year. What are some of the things, you're drafted by Montreal as a sixth round, right? So you're going to be going on, and hopefully everything is going to keep going with your work ethic and whatever, and everything's, all your goals, you're going to be able to achieve those things. But as you continue with your career, you're going to look back at Sudbury at some point in time. What's the thing you're going to remember the most, or what are some of the things you're going to remember the most about Sudbury?
Definitely the community. I mean, I'm from Toronto, and that's a pretty big city, and I mean, you don't really know everything that's going on, and I find in Sudbury it's just a small community and a tight group, and you kind of know everybody and things that are going on in the community. I mean, for me, that was the biggest change, and I think that's the best part about Sudbury is how it's just like a small town, and I really like the atmosphere that we have here. Mm-hmm. And for me, you'll never forget all the fans and my billets and my teammates that made the experiences great, because at the end of the day, it's not what you do on the ice that you're going to remember. It's all the stuff that you did with your billets and your teammates and the community that's really going to have an impact on you in 20, 30 years when you look back on your career.
Yeah, very true. You have an interesting perspective coming from such a big city into a big town, if you will, kind of thing. Like Sudbury's a big town. I was doing some searching on YouTube, and I found an interesting video of you in the rookie game in September against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got into a bit of a fight. You got into a wicked fight with Keaton Middleton, who's rather large, and you seem to get the best of him. You gave him a good one. No, but are you aware of how many hits, no pun intended, you got on YouTube for that video?
I know it got up there. A couple of my buddies were sending me links to watch the video and stuff, but not sure what it ended up at.
So it's currently it's over 27,000 views. So it's on hockeyfights.com, and so it looks like it's a pretty popular video.
Yeah, that's
viral.
It's pretty cool that I got that viral. I mean, thank God that I won the fight and I didn't get my ass kicked or anything like that. So thank God.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but yeah, so he was very surprised when you got him. The look on his face. I don't know if you have had a chance to watch it or not after.
I watched it a few times, a few hundred times.
It's a great video, but anyways, hopefully it's not going to be your last one that you'll ever have. You know, there'll be more. And again, I don't hope you're going to get into tons of fights in the NHL or anything. But being from Toronto, how did that feel? Playing Toronto in that game.
That was a pretty cool experience. I mean, a lot of my buddies and families were out to the game, so to kind of put a half sweater on and play against your. I mean, that was my hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's pretty cool and a pretty cool experience for me and my family for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. Being from Toronto, and there's always that rivalry, Montreal and Toronto, right? I wasn't going to ask this question because I wasn't sure if a joke or whatever, humor comes through. We just met each other and whatever, but I was thinking, you're on Montreal, so are you secretly going to kind of lay off a bit, if they're coming in and just kind of let them score? Or Toronto, are you going to secretly go for the team Toronto as you're playing them?
Oh, I think if you're playing Toronto, I'm definitely going balls out and.
So it's the opposite. Really.
Yeah, not letting them off. You want to play them even harder. That's your hometown team. That's where you're gonna have most of your family and friends there, and you definitely want to have a good showing and beat up on the Leafs there if you had the opportunity.